So this is Eagle River Nature Center. This is one of our favorite places to come hike and just get out. A couple of reasons is the view is spectacular, but also there are multiple hikes here. This is the end of the Croak Pass hike, which is 26 miles, which hopefully we'll show you later in the summer. There's too much snow right now to do that, and I'm not ready for 26 miles yet. Also, in the little bit, there's mile hikes, there's 3-mile hikes, there's 6-mile hikes. They kind of wind all the way through this whole area, so who knows what I can't even talk this morning. It's like who knows what trail we go to. It all depends on how we feel. But we're not going to start here. In Alaska, it's kind of funny. It seems like all trails seem to start downhill, and then when you come back to end your trail, it seems to go uphill when you're already exhausted. So it's quite interesting. But today we're actually going to go to the lower parking lot, cut off the uphill thing. I know that's counterintuitive when you're trying to do strongman stuff, but today we just want to do a nice relaxing hike with some friends and just kind of take in the breathtaking views. So I will see you down at the lower end of the trail. Well, Molly's ready to go. She's chomping at the bit. The unique thing about Molly is that she has learned how to detect when my blood sugar is low. Not one of those things that I did. I didn't train her to do that. As I got diabetes, she just decided that she picked up on it. So now she's my hiking buddy. Whenever we go hiking, she just knows that when my blood sugars are low. So anyway, and the way she lets me know that my blood sugar is low, she tries to trip me and runs underneath my feet, runs around me, becomes super annoying. Most of the time I don't even notice it. People that I go hiking with generally notice it. So here's the lower trail. I'll be heading down through here in just a few minutes. With the doggies, we're just waiting for friends. It is a nice balmy 34 degrees. We're in light sleeves or light long sleeve shirts because in Alaska, if it's above freezing, it's almost summer. This will be the start of our trail. We'll run into the old Iditarod Trail here. It's not used anymore, but we will run into it. There have been bear sightings throughout the park, so I would imagine at some point maybe we might be able to run into a bear. So I do have my bear spray. I got my doggies with me. We should be safe. The first time I ran into a bear was here at the Nature Center. I walked underneath a tree and he was eating some leaves up in the tree. So you never know. They could be on ground or they could be up in the tree. So you always got to be aware. Bear aware, as they call it. We also can run in some moose. Moose are kind of dangerous right now this time of year because they're all having their babies. And they're very aggressive when their babies are with them, which unfortunately at points during Alaska we've experienced. So here we go. I had mentioned that there are multiple trails that you can take at the Nature Center. Here's an example. That way is what we're going to take. goes to a river, which is really super cool. And this way here is called the Albert Loop Trail, which is a 3.5 mile loop that goes around to little docks and bridges and things so you can see the wildlife. So this is what I was talking about earlier. As you walk upon this trail, you can go 2 different directions to create a different view and a different hike. So, and these are all over this trail, many branches off of it. This is the main trail that we're on right now. So we're walking upon what they call the Four Corners at the Eagle River Nature Center. That way is the Albert Loop Trail. We'll take you there sometime this summer. It's very pretty, all kinds of sightseeing decks and stuff. There's Melissa. This way is just another branch off the trail to give you a different perspective and whatnot. And this way is the old Iditarod Trail. It's not used too much anymore, but actually it's not used at all anymore. But this is kind of like a little road sign that kind of tells you about it. Anyway, so yeah, so we're off down the old Iditarod Trail. It's pretty cool with Melissa, and you never saw Paul. Paul joined us, but wasn't in the early shots, so we're gonna make him world famous. Paul's an actual Alaskan, grew up in Fairbanks, worked for, what did you work for? The National, you and your dad worked for the Fish and Game? Fish and Game, is that what it was?
Yeah, my dad was Fish and Game.
Fish and Game, but didn't you go with him and
oh yeah,
backcountry, helicopter in type stuff? He said he got out of it when the helicopter started crashing because they wouldn't put enough money to keep them maintained. That's a good reason to stop doing the job. So anyway, you'll see Paul on a lot of our adventures. He's my guide. He often takes me somewhere that is over my head, and we have to use gummy bears to revive me from my diabetic crisis because he wears me out. At some point we'll tell you the whole story on that, but so you'll see him quite a bit. So here we go. Still a little bit of snow, but not too bad so far. So this is another trail. A couple years back, Melissa and I took this trail. Ended up, it turns not into a trail. It's kind of like a bushwhacking kind of thing, and eventually pops into a trail about a mile up the trail. We got kind of lost, and then we realized something very interesting. And the way we found our way back out was that in the trees in Alaska, I don't know if you can see that, there is orange flags in the trees, and where the orange flags are, that's how you know you're on the trail. So we were able to use those orange flags and find our way back out of here. Even though this is a well-traveled area, it's still easy to get lost, especially when the trail disappears and your only avenue to follow the trail is those orange tags in the trees. So just so you know, if you're ever out and about in Alaska and you get lost in the woods on a trail that all of a sudden just turns into bushwhacking, just look for the orange tags and you'll find your way back out. Anyway, on we keep going. So here we go. This is our nice trail turned into basically a sheet of ice. We did not bring ice cleats with us. Oh shit. I mean, oh shoot. Well, as much as I want to do this, I'm probably gonna have to put this away. Unfortunately today you won't see me fall on my ass. So here we go. So this is almost the end of our trail. We're almost to the river. It's a great view. I don't know how clear that is, but we just kind of walk down this trail here. Round trip, this is about 4 miles. We did take a little shortcut, so it's probably 3.75 miles out and back. But we're walking down the river, which is a great spot for the doggies to drink. And normally we have a water filter. I couldn't find it today, and we kind of stop and refill our water bottles. You can kind of see the river through there, still slightly frozen. There's another way down here, but it's a little sketchy, and I don't have my poles with me today. I realized this morning that I am so not ready for Alaska hiking season. I didn't know where my poles were. I didn't know where my water purification was. I mean, this is only 3 3/4 hike or 4 mile hike. But in Alaska, I learned that sometimes those hikes can turn into be quite the adventure if you're not prepared. I usually carry first aid kits with me for a couple reasons. One is I'm a nurse and I should do that kind of thing. And I hike with a lot of nurses, so we should probably be prepared if there's something bad that happens. But this is kind of like the river here, and I'm going to try to step down without falling. But oh really? So this is the view at the river. It's incredible. And there's the, like I said, the doggies. They love it. They just lay in it and splash around. Very pleasant here, all times of the year. It's still frozen across the way there a little bit. During the wintertime, they cross-country ski through here. The snow gets deep enough they can do that. So they ski on the river, which is pretty amazing. It's fun to watch. They're pretty fast. So, anyway, here soon we'll be heading back. This real pretty sight here. Not because we don't enjoy it, but because the mosquitoes are out. It is 36 degrees right now. and the mosquitoes are hot and heavy for us. So yeah, 36 degrees and mosquitoes are out. That's ridiculous. And away we go. Hiya. Oh, see, already run down the wrong trail. So there's another trail up there. We're not going that way. Another trail right there. We're going up the easy way. And away we go. So one nice thing about the Eagle River Nature Center, there's another little off-beaten path, is that as you walk up here, I won't go too far back here because people are staying here. But you can stay at these yurts, which are super cool. Have a little outhouse over there, which you can't see, but they have these yurts that you can stay in overnight. And they usually sleep anywhere from 4 to 8 people. Molly. But they are up and down this trail, and they're everywhere. All you need to do is look up yurts in Alaska, trails, and it'll pull up hundreds of them where you can hike, backpack to, hike to. Some are as far as a mile away, some are as far as 20 miles. So you can pick your poison. And away we go again. So we're gonna take a little off-trail walk here. There's this little memorial. Super cool. It's kind of funny because when you're sitting up here and people go across, they have no idea you're up here. But last year the bench wasn't here. They put a nice pretty new one up. And from here, again, it's just so nice to have a sandwich here and just look at the view. Not sure what the gummy bear story started when Paul invited my family and I to go fishing at the Russian River Falls, which we hope to take you there this year. He said it was only a mile hike, and I'm like, okay, but remember I have my wife and kids with me, so take it easy on us. We get to the trailhead and it said 3 miles to the falls, and I said, dude, the sign says 3 miles, you said it was a mile. He goes, no, it's only a mile. Well, we get to about mile 1.5 and everybody's exhausted, nobody can carry their gear, so I end up throwing the gear on top of me. I had 3 sets of waders, all the tackle, my kids were wore out, and I started carrying it until about 600 yards from the river. I started getting like going into a diabetic, like hypoglycemic event, and my wife and I stopped. I had a sandwich, and we get to the river, and I said, dude, that wasn't cool. It's like, I had a hypoglycemic event. It's like, because this was farther than you said. And so he pulls my wife aside and says, next time that happens, bend him over a log and stick gummy bears in his ass. That will help him recover faster. So my wife comes over to me and says, is this true? Can you do that? And I'm like, well, in theory, yeah, you probably could, but if that happens, let me die. And I went back to Paul and said, Paul, what the hell? My wife is never going to let me go with you anywhere again if you start saying crap like that. So now every time Paul and I go out, we always say, we got the gummies, and if we do, we're good to go. Well, this is towards the end of our hike. I appreciate you joining us on this hike. I hope you enjoyed it. There's hopefully many more to come this summer. You all have a great day. For joining Beast Alaska and our video. It's like, if you like what you see, click like and subscribe at the bottom.
Go out and compete with your potential.
And let the animal out!